I think student housing is a very interesting niche in Germany, and it's really surprising. The UK or the US market is quite different. But in Germany, we do not have one German-wide operator of student homes. The whole student home market is very diversified. So you have a local player in Frankfurt, you have a local player in Munich, but there's not one nationwide operator or developer for student homes. So we own one company who's operating at the moment 3,500 student apartments in 10 different university cities. For me, it's a very interesting niche because we have an increasing number of students, and if you see all these student homes, occupancy is at 99.5%. Rental loss is below 1% because you have guarantee of the parents. Very nice cash flow, very nice rent per square meter, because students don't care about rent per square meter, they care about the absolute amount, and they can afford, let's say, €500, €550 for a 20 square meter apartment, which is €20 per square meter, which is a very high square meter rent if you compare that to the German resi market. So in my eyes, it's a very, very interesting niche, and it makes sense to create such a German-wide operator. And yes, honestly speaking, we are on both sides. I think to achieve opportunistic returns, you have to move up the risk curve. You have to go into developments. This is what we are doing. We are developing student homes, and if they are up and running, and we can prove for the first 1 or 2 or 3 years that that concept works, we are selling them off. First of all, it's yes, for sure for German students, but also the German universities are getting more and more attractive for foreign students, and also that was not the case in Germany. The universities and the cities understands that to have a great university and to be attractive for foreign students drives also the economics of the cities. So they try to get more and more attractive for these students, and what we see in Germany is an increasing number also of foreign students. So in our student housing apartments, and this is the advantage if you have a German-wide operator, so a foreign student goes into the internet, and if you have 3,500 apartments and you're always in the first rank in the internet, you have access to the foreign students, so we have a mix of 50-50.
Okay.
There's one structural thing we're looking at the issue as well. There's one interesting fact that has changed in the last 20 years as well. Back when I studied, for example, you used to start at one university and then move around into 2-3 universities during the course of your studies, because there's no, the university program is always the same, especially in law and in business or in economics. That has changed. So you're getting this kind of a campus vibe as well, and the demand for a campus vibe is there, and to stay in these buildings and to do your whole 4 years, because they're now bachelors and MBA or MAs, etc. So the structure has changed, and that leaves the students in one town for a period of 4 to 5 years, and not as flexible as it used to be.
Okay, and that's changed. And what's that time period? Has that changed recently, or is that?
Well, I think the whole structure, depending on
I'm assuming you were at university a couple of years ago, Philip. So
last year, I just got out. Being 25, I just finished my studies. Well, I think, who knows, I studied 25 years ago. And I think the last 10 years, the whole structures of BAs and MAs has changed. So they're now there for 3 to 4 years, and the programs are there. So I think that's the last 5 to 10 years, and I think it just helps. And I think students like that campus feel. Historically, you used to have these VGs where you just share apartments, 4 or 5 people, and just somewhere in the city. And now you're getting that campus feeling more, where these kind of operators actually contribute to that, to the universities.
Yeah. Before we started that business, we made a survey and asked 3,000 students how they want to live, and that's really the case. They want to have their own apartment, their own bathroom, their own kitchen, but they want to live into the community. So we have these student homes with learning lounges and TV lounges, so they can do something together, but they have their own apartment. So fluctuation rate, coming back to that, is between 30 and 35%. So the average stay is 3 years' time. But we are not scared about the fluctuation, because this gives always the opportunity to catch up to market rent. And if you see these student homes, and when you have a 30% fluctuation, and the good thing is, fluctuation always takes place in 2 times a year when you have holiday. So you can structure that from the asset management perspective because you know already when you have the fluctuation. So you can put in your reletting teams, and fluctuation gives you the opportunity to catch up to market trend. So increase is between, let's say, 2 and 4% each year.